Welcome back to the Dream Hub podcast, where we explore the profound, the mystical, and the downright life-changing world of dreams. I'm your host, Melissa Johnson, and today's episode is an absolute treat. I'm honored to interview Kelly Sullivan Walden, aka Dr. Dream. Kelly is on a mission to help you wake up to the power of your dreams, literally. Whether it's decoding wild nighttime visions or teaching you how to dreamifest the life you want, Kelly blends science, soul, and practical guidance to help you not only be the light of the world, but attract the means by which to pay your light bill. She's been the go-to dream expert for Dr. Oz, Coast to Coast AM, hosts from E! Entertainment, Access Hollywood, even the Housewives of the OC in New York. She's even helped celebs, CEOs, and everyday dreamers unlock life-changing insights while they sleep. A best-selling, award-winning author of 10 books, including A Crisis is a Terrible Thing to Waste, creator of 7 Oracle decks, and the host of the Kelly Sullivan Walden Show. She's here to make dream interpretation practical, powerful, and totally life-changing. When she's not teaching her OGLE method for turning tragedy into magic, she's supporting change makers dream up solutions to global challenges. And because Kelly is so incredibly generous, she's also offering over $100 worth of free gifts during the Dreamifesting pre-launch. So stay tuned for all the details. All right, let's dive into this magical conversation with Kelly Sullivan Walden. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Melissa. It's such an honor to be with a fellow dream enthusiast. So thanks for having me on the Dream Hub.
Thank you. I'm obsessed. I saw you on Gaia and I watched that episode about 3 times. Yeah, I love
Oh,
it.
wow. Oh, very cool. I always wonder where people find things and I wonder what episode, but yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and
Thank
I
you.
was a big fan of your outfit on there as well.
Oh my God.
I thought she is
Oh,
trendy.
was it the red one? The reddish
Yes.
gold one? Oh, I got that one from my friend Gypsy, who's on the other side. She passed away right before then, and that was one of the things that she had given me. So I felt like I was carrying her with me from the dream world from the other side. Thank you
That's
for
so
acknowledging that.
special. All
Thank
right,
you.
let's get into this. Can you explain what exactly is dreamifesting and how does it differ from traditional manifestation techniques?
Sure. So I think from the beginning of me becoming kind of in the known for doing dream work, I would always do work with clients to help them access their dreams, but also have a question in mind about if your dreams could help you with whatever challenges in your life. Let's interpret your dream through the lens of how your dream is giving you practical guidance about this issue or about something that you're aspiring to create. And I remember somebody telling me at an early workshop, they're like, you're really practical. Like this is a really, yes, this is esoteric, but you're really about wanting to make dream work practical. And I thought, yeah, and dream work is incredibly practical. So I think dreamifesting is how we allow our dream wisdom, the wisdom of our subconscious and our other than conscious mind, which is about 99.9% of who we are, to allow in, like to open the floodgates of that wisdom and allow it to funnel into the specific areas that we're challenged by, relationships or jobs or health, and or the things that we really wish we could accomplish. If we want to write that book, if we want to have a date with that person, if we want to build that business, how is our dreams helping us? And I believe our dreams always are. So it's not just for people that think dream work is for nobody that listens or watches your show would ever be this person. But there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I used to dream when I was little. Yeah, I used to have a lot of time back then, but I'm a busy person. I've got a job. I don't have time for dreams. And my perspective is you really don't have time. You shouldn't like, oh my God, it's the opposite. If you're
Yes.
busy, you should absolutely make time for your dreams because our dreams are helping us to make the best use of our waking lives. It may be one of the most practical tools there is. So dreamifesting is really the bridge between our dreaming mind, our other than conscious self, and all of that wisdom and esoteric energy, and our very practical, boots on the ground, get her done self that so that we can be wiser, more conscious, more fluid, and have more joy. That's what dreamifesting is.
I love that. And I really agree with you. And I find that it's when you're the busiest in your life that dreaming is the thing that helps you the most because first you get a bit of a break from all the busy stuff during the day to go and do things, but it gives
Yeah,
you tips and guidance on how to streamline your waking life or how to,
right.
reschedule things or come up with good ideas that are going to benefit you. So, yeah, I love what you're doing.
Right. When we're busy, and I remember years ago, I was leading Artist Way workshops. It's the Artist Way by Julia Cameron, and the first edition was with Mark Bryan. Mark Bryan came to one of my Artist Way workshops. That wasn't intimidating at all, having the person who wrote the book come to my workshop. And he was saying how important it is to pay attention to our dreams when we're going through some kind of a change, when we're dealing with the death of somebody that we love, or when a fire or flood or hurricane is happening, or when we're changing jobs, especially in these times, our dreams can help us make those chaotic life changes so much more smooth and joyous and easeful. Can I give an example?
Please, yeah.
This is kind of a perfect example of dreamifesting. I'm going to have to put this in the book. I'm in the final stages of editing dreamifesting as we speak, but there's a corporate executive who's become a friend and colleague of mine who, while he was his company, his big technology company that he was working for was starting to downsize and everybody was kind of like panicking. And he was kind of the guy that was like, I'm going to go down with this ship. I will never leave. I've been loyal to this company. I'm not going. And all these offers from other companies were coming in trying to recruit him. And he was like, nope, I'm going to stay no matter what. That's my MO. So he has a dream that he's on a ship and it's going down. And it's like a submarine that just keeps going down and down. And and everyone's bailing ship, jumping off. And he's like, no, I'm going to go down. I'm going to stay on this ship. And finally, he sees this little door at the edge of the ship that has light around it. And he's drawn to it. And he hears a voice that says, you can walk out that door. And he's like, so he opens this little teeny door. And all of a sudden, because dreams do this, he's no longer on the ship. He's suddenly on this tropical island with all this fresh fruit and all these beautiful people dressed in bikinis and like it's all just beautiful. He's like, what? Whoa. So he wakes up with, you can walk out that door. So he gets to work. And the first person that called to recruit him that had been trying really hard, he said, okay, I'll take a meeting. And he ended up taking that job, getting this incredible retirement package from the company he was working for, got the best offer you could ever imagine. And it was true. He could walk out the door, and he never would have had it not been for that very important dream. So practical. I mean, it made him a lot of money. And it was like it set him up. It set up his true retirement in like luxury as opposed to just getting by. So, yeah,
Mm.
that's an example.
That's so cool. We can consciously get stuck in our own way, and dreams are showing different perspectives.
So
That's
true.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard that there's four basic steps of dreamifesting. Would you mind sharing
hmm
them with us?
hmm So simple. First step is set a really strong intention before you go to sleep. I call this a dream declaration, more than an intention, which some people can think of as a wish. So a dream declaration is I'm going to first of all remember my dreams when I wake up in the morning. But within that, it's also, I'd like my dreams to help me, like with my job or with my relationship or with my health. So the declaration is step one. Step two is when you wake up in the morning, you know this, the very first thing you have to do before you do anything else is record your dream. You don't have to judge it. You don't evaluate it. You don't say, yeah, but that doesn't make any sense. Or, oh, I've already dreamt about that. Or what? I mean, you don't judge it. You just record it. And when I say record it, it could be voice recording. It could be writing it down longhand. It could be text to speak. It could be drawing a picture, whatever it is to get it into the physical. So that step, is that step 2? Yeah, that's step 2. Step 3 is take a little bit of time to say, once you've journaled it, go through my jet set formula, which is in the book, and I can give you a little bit of a sense of what that is. It's a way to be able to break down the dream so that it starts to make sense, so that you have a little bit of like, oh, whoa, it's not so abstract. It's like, oh, I'm like, I can walk out that door. This is what it's telling me to do. So you get a sense by going through the jet set formula of what the dream is telling you, even if you don't understand every nuance, but you've worked with the dream even for just a few minutes. And then the 4th step, this is really important. You do something in the physical realm that is tangible, that is, I call it the take it to the street, where you do something in the world. And it could be as simple as call the person that you dreamt about and say, I had a dream about you. You might think this is crazy, but I'm just reporting. I'm just the weather girl on the news. I'm just reporting. It's not my fault. I just, had this dream. Or you actually wear the shirt that you were wearing in your dream, or the colors that like you were just telling me before we showed up to record this, that you had a dream that said to wear this shirt. And turns out we're all color coordinated. So you do something physical, even if it seems silly or superficial. I mean, because I'm such a strong believer in you've got to do something physical, even if it doesn't make sense, especially if it doesn't make sense. I had a dream a few months ago about a friend that I hadn't talked to in a long time and that I'd been feeling really guilty and bad about. But the dream was so intense and so profound that I told my husband, Dana, he's like, well, you got to call her then. And I was like, no, I don't want to call her. I don't oh my God. Okay, fine. I'm going to call her. I shared the dream with her and she responded not in the best way. She responded with, you know what? Take your dream and shove it, basically. But I was like, okay, that didn't go how I wished it would have gone. However, it clarified I don't need to have any guilt about this person in my life. Mm-hmm. I had been carrying around a guilt, but really we'd been moving apart because if she had been a true friend, she would have never responded that way, because it was a beautiful dream. It was so lovely. And she was like, yeah, you know what? Kiss my whatever. I don't know. I try to not cuss too much, but you know what I mean? Yeah. And so even though it didn't go beautifully, I've got a million stories where it goes really well. But even when it doesn't go perfectly well, it was information that was vital to me, because all the energy that I'd been storing up about feeling guilty, I can now use that energy creatively. I've got that back. So I think our dreams are always nudging us. And who's to say that dream wasn't helpful to her ultimately? Who's to say? It's not my business. And I've got a lot of better examples than that.
No, that's a great example though. No, it is, because I think the thing about dream work is sometimes we're shown things and things don't always go the way that we think we want them to. But when you work with your dreams, you get what you need. And like you're saying, this is something that you needed. And it's not always going to be a fairy tale, but at the end of the day, like you said, that's cleansed you out. That's given you a lot more energy, and now you have clarity. And so it was really good.
Exactly. And if I can, okay, now I'm really going to cuss. I was talking with a friend of mine today, and she was saying, you know what? We don't have to wait till we're old to give fewer fucks about people, things that aren't ours to give a fuck about. So, oh my God. So I think sometimes the road narrows. And so the people and the projects and the things that are really sacred to us, we can just give all our fucks to that. Mm-hmm. We don't have to spread all our fucks around. People we don't give a fuck about. There I go. F bomb, F bomb.
I love
Bam,
it.
bam.
It's welcome here for sure.
I think it's you. I'm going to blame it on your conditioning field. I just feel like potty mouth. Let's go.
Yes. Excellent. She's a naughty girl. So I bet you get people ask you this or bring it up all the time, and they
Yeah.
say it to me all the time, but like, oh, well, I want to dream a fest, but what if I can't remember my dreams? Or they just believe, oh no,
Yeah.
I don't dream. What do you say to them?
Right. Right. I'd love to hear how you answer that, Melissa. Um,
Tell them to
I'll,
fuck off? No, I'm kidding.
yeah, there you go. You're like, duh. Have you not listened to my podcast?
Yeah.
Dream Hub. Hello. Well, actually, I mean, I think it's, let's be respectful because not everybody, people might be watching or listening to this because they understand that dreams are important and they're having a little bit of FOMO and they're wishing they could have some dreams, especially if they read a book about it. I mean, if they read Dreamifesting or, listen to your show, they're going to be like, yeah, I'm feeling left out. That's good. That's very, very, very good. You want to have excitement about your dreams. But if you can't remember, then one of my biggest hacks to remembering dreams is when you first wake up in the morning, get in the habit of just recording something, recording any thought that you're just having, even if it's, oh shit, I can't remember my dreams. Or if it's some song that's looping in or if it's like, oh, I wonder how my grandma's doing. Whatever that is, write something down because it may be tethered to the dream. It may be a natural extension of that dream and it might just loop you back in. And if you get in the habit of just recording something first thing in the morning, eventually it's like the build it, they will come. Eventually it will be your dreams. But even if it's not for a week or two, I bet you if you do this every day for a couple of weeks, your dreams are going to start coming through. But even if it isn't, those early morning thoughts are often brilliant. It's like they say in the real estate market, location, location, location. Those thoughts that we have in the early morning moments and even right before we go to sleep, those are when the veil is so thin that often it is wisdom that is coming through. Even if it isn't exactly a dream, it's often connected to that higher part of our own consciousness, worth taking note of, even if we don't have a whole storyline of the dream we were just having.
Yeah, I love that. And how you said about being judgment free as well. The interesting thing I find is when I'm writing first thing in the morning, I'll write it and then
Yeah,
I'll get up and get my kids ready and do this and do that. And
yeah,
then I think,
yeah.
what did I dream last night? And I can't even remember it, even though I wrote it down. And then I go back and read
Yes,
it and I'm like, oh, wow.
right. Isn't that amazing? And if you hadn't written it down, it would just
Be
most
gone.
likely be so gone.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we just have to exactly just grab it, write it down, and then we can come back to it. And I'll sometimes come back and look at a month's worth of dreams, way later, and I'm like, oh my God, there was some real gold in there that I didn't necessarily do anything with. At least I recorded it though.
Mm.
And so I like to say in Dreamifesting, I have it's a 12-week program, and every week you take one dream a week that you run through the Jet Set program with. Some people are ambitious and they do it every day. That would be the best, but not all of us are going to have time every week, every single day. So at least once a week, take one remembered dream and put it through the formula and then activate it. Do some physical action with at least one, and our lives change. It's like it kind of takes us, it's one way of going from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. So we start to live in that more mysterious realm where we're connected to what's a bit more ephemeral, and the synchronicities start showing up and things begin to open. And I would say to sprinkle in every morning, at the very least, gratitude for whatever the dream was. In fact, right now, as we speak, I'm really wanting to emphasize the gratitude because so many times the first thought is, "Ugh, that dream, oh my God, that was stupid, or that was crazy, or that was weird, or I only got one little snippet." So there's often like Veruca Salt from Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, where she's just like, I want the other one. We're often like snotty little brats about our dreams, but we should just get in the habit of thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for what, because it's so sacred that we can remember a dream in this waking world. It's like it's connecting us to this incredible universe of wisdom without us having to do much except for give a few minutes of our time to contemplating it. And that gives us so much wisdom, intuition, and there's all kinds of scientific data that says people that remember even one dream, even if they don't know what it means, in that day that you remember one dream, you tend to walk with more confidence, you tend to make better decisions, you have more access to your intuition, like things just go better. And who doesn't need that every day?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
why bother wasting time with coffee, trying to charge yourself to do better when you can just remember some dreams and there's so
right.
many layers of the benefits as well. Like you're so passionate and I'm feeling that and I'm loving it.
I know. So I'm curious, can I just ask you, because
Yeah.
I mean, to dedicate yourself to a podcast called Dream Hub, like I just want to know a little bit about why are you doing this,
Yeah,
if you
yeah, of
mind
course. Yeah, I'll
asking?
try and squish it into a small story, but I was having really bad nightmares. Well, nightmares aren't bad, I now know that, but at the time I didn't
Yes.
know that. And it was
Yeah.
really affecting me with bad anxiety. I was getting scared to go to sleep at night. And so I started researching how to deal with them. I learned to lucid dream, but I was very much like a rookie and I didn't have a coach and I was just Googling it and like jumping into the dream world doing all this weird stuff. And I found it extremely empowering. Like, because I'd never even knew what lucid dreaming was. I didn't know what dream work was. I just was getting smashed with nightmares. And then I did a course with Robert Moss.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, and so that flipped my life upside down. And like you're saying, with the taking action from the dream and interpreting the dreams and applying it to your life, my life got so much better. My nightmares went
Mm.
away. I started having helpful dreams, healing dreams, like positive. And I was like, why doesn't everybody know about this? Like, why aren't we being
Right.
taught this at school? And I got very, very passionate about it and kept going with my studies with Robert. And then I got a diploma in dream therapy. And so now I,
Mm.
I am a dream therapist and teacher and just want to share it with the whole world because obviously, it's something from centuries ago.
Yeah.
Some cultures, it's their God. They respect them so much. And
Yes.
I think, why can't we respect them as much and pay attention? And yeah, just with sharing this with friends and family and now clients and doing workshops and things like that, I've never had like bad feedback. Everybody is like, I wish I knew about this sooner. So here I
Right.
am trying to spread the word and yeah, wanting to speak to all the experts in the field.
Oh my God. I love that. And especially love that it started with nightmares. It
Mm.
seemed so bad and that you didn't even want to go to sleep at night.
Yeah, I was
And
taking medication to try to block them out. That's how bad it was. And so, yeah, things could have gone very differently if I didn't listen, like,
isn't it amazing? And what did you end up deducing? Well, now I'm going to have you on my show so I can
okay.
unpack your nightmares more, but they led you to becoming a lucid dreamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
was overcoming PTSD. I was in a job that I hated. Well, I hated parts of it, but it was draining the life out of me. And I
Oh my
wasn't
God.
confident. And I was, I was looking externally for guidance and I had no internal compass. So dreams helped me to shift and start trusting myself.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay. I am looking forward to unpacking all of this so much more. But I love that because I happen to be a nightmare girl myself. And my one of my most hideous nightmares, should I tell you a little?
Yeah.
It was so important to me. So I had a series of dreams about being chased by wolves, and they would grow in number, and I was getting really good at evading them, like outrunning them and hiding from them, and eventually there were thousands of wolves, like an entire stadium full of wolves chasing me. And I woke myself up out of the dream, but I realized I I can't keep doing this. Like I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna literally die in my sleep. So I went back in, semi-lucid, and asking, like, I mean, it wasn't even an asking. It was like I just opened my arms and they just ravaged me. They just like pounced on me all around, yipping, snipping, pulling me like limb to limb until I emerged and I had become one of them. They initiated me. And every single time I think about that dream or even remember it or talk about it, I feel this energy come over me that feels like wolf energy, and it takes away my people pleasing. I hope they like me. I hope they think I'm great. I hope they want me. It's like it just rips that shit off me, and I feel like there's this like I even snarl like I just feel so strong. So at the end of my dream, they're all standing with me and I'm in the center of them and we are connected. And I'm like, instead of the mother of dragons, I'm like the mother of the wolves. And they are, so now, everything I have is a wolf, 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 wolf. And it's just something that has healed me. It's my own personal medicine for anxiety, stress, worry, depression, imposter syndrome, people pleasing, the disease to please, which is pretty rampant for women everywhere. And what a helpful thing. I mean, I even talking about it now, I'm like, oh yeah, I needed another dose of that dream. So thank you for letting me share it. But that's another sort of example of dreamifesting I didn't even know that my dream, I just thought it was trying to kill me. I thought it was trying to hurt me. So why didn't I turn and face it sooner? I mean, it took what it took, and it was cool that it was so dramatic. Thousands of them. I mean, you can run, but you can't hide. But it was a part of my own power that I didn't know I had that immediately transfers into my books, into what I do, and getting the next book deal and feeling worthy and feeling like, so good things keep coming. And the more I lean on dreams, the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. It
Wow,
doesn't
what a
mean there's not
powerful
challenges, but
dream.
I feel like the dreams give us something to
Yeah.
alchemize those challenges.
Yeah. Wow, what a powerful dream. I love that. Is that what inspired you to create the concept of dreamifesting, or did something else happen?
I would say that those kind of dreams, that dream was probably one of the biggest reasons to create this book, but the book has been writing itself for a long time, for at least, let me see, like at least 25 years when I first had the idea of it early on in my dream career. But I would say that one, and then hearing people like new colleagues, I mean, like you, and meeting Timothy Schultz. I don't know if you know who he is, but he won the lottery based on his dream, and it completely changed his life because he acted on it. And I just recently interviewed Kelly Grace Gaddis, who also won the lottery so many times over based on her dreams. I mean, this woman has to be in the like Hall of Fame of winning the lottery. Like some people, they win it once and that's it, but she's won it hundreds of times based on dream guidance. And and other people that have just met the love of their life. I mean, I have this thing in the book called the Dreamifester Hall of Fame that has a list of some of my favorite dreamifesters, like throughout time, the United States founding fathers that dreamed the Declaration of Independence and that dreamed about what our country was going to stand for. And hopefully today's President's Day in waking reality, I mean, hopefully that stands. I pray. I'm sure it will. But also Einstein and his contributions to science and the theory of relativity came to him as a dream as a 13-year-old boy. And and the sewing needle. We wouldn't have clothes. We'd be naked without dreams. And also, the filament in the light bulb came through a dream, very practical. So we'd be naked and in the dark without our dreams. I mean, we'd be shivering, we'd be quivering, we'd be like, ah, there'd be no internet. We wouldn't be able to be doing any of this, you know? So there's so many great stories that came directly through dreams. And a client of mine, somebody that I personally know, had a dream during a pretty big recession in the US about couple decades ago, almost 2 decades ago. And he dreamt about these very strange tree coverings over cell phone towers, and he sketched them, patented it, and he's made millions of dollars off of his fake tree designs that cover cell phone towers throughout industrial areas. That's like, who would have thought of that? But it changed his business. He was in the real estate market, which was tanking, and this changed his life. So practical. It's practical
Yeah, very,
and
very
magical.
practical. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's both. I
Yeah.
love that.
And I met my husband because of the dream, and I didn't meet him because of the dream. I had already known him, but I would have never thought of him as a contender,
Hmm.
as somebody that I would have been with. He was different than what my thought was. My little box was over here and he's over here, but my dream was like, look over there. And yeah, there's a big story about that in the book.
Can't wait for it to come out. Dreams seem to always know what's best for us. Like they know us better than we know ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know our soul. Like there's what our ego thinks it wants based on what
Hmm.
we've been taught, based on what would please our parents or please our friends or give us the little pat on the back. But our soul sometimes is like, I don't give a crap about any of that.
Yeah.
What about over here? There's a whole other life. I mean, the life of soul, the life of heart that can seem very odd and I mean, completely opposite and sometimes to what we've been taught. And, it doesn't mean that either path is easy, but oh my God, I would so much rather have the path of soul and heart than the path of like everything looking
Yeah.
like a perfect little cookie cutter and
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did have a dream once. I was dating a guy who was perfect, perfect in the box. And I dreamt I was married to him in the future and I was a zombie. I was bumping. I remember it. I bumped into the couch, bumped into the table because I was dead. And I woke up and we were still at the honeymoon stage of our relationship. And I broke up with him on the spot and just said I had a dream that it wasn't going to work out. And he was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. We've got all these plans. Like, I mean, he had just taken me out to a beautiful dinner the night before. Everything was perfect. Perfect. But my dream showed me something else. Some people are like, you might not tell people that dream. You sound crazy. But I don't know. The
No.
proof is in the
I
pudding.
know women understand for sure.
Okay, good.
We get
Good.
it.
Yeah. I mean, to just break up with somebody out of the blue for no good reason except I dreamt I was a zombie. I
The
was
best
dead.
reason.
Yeah, exactly. Do I need a better reason than that? Yeah, no, maybe not.
That's awesome. So there are some big misconceptions that people have around manifestation. So how does Dreamifesting
Yes.
address those?
Oh, Lord have mercy. So I've always been interested in the realm of manifesting, and I've also been repelled by it because it feels like there's so much crap involved. And not to mention, whenever I've been in like, I'm gonna manifest this, it seems like it just backfires and it doesn't work to a certain degree. I can just be
Mm.
like willful about what I want. But the best things have always come to me through the back door when I wasn't looking for them or when I was totally thinking that for sure it has to be this. It was like, nope. So dreamifesting takes into consideration humility and the whole notion of having a beginner's mind and not knowing and unlearning and letting. So I have this section in the book where we draw a distinction between our ego goals and our soul goals. And I think it's great to say, here's what I want. If a genie showed up today and said, I could have anything I want, write it down, because there's kernels of wisdom in there. So the house, the guy, the money, the fame, the prestige, the blood, the like all those things. Awesome. So give voice to those things. And then go under it and say, wow, if I had all those things, then what do I imagine? How do I imagine I would feel? What would I then be able to do if I had those things? And often most people say, oh my God, I'd feel so peaceful. I'd feel like now I can really do what I want to do because I've checked all those boxes. And it's like, oh, okay, well, let's follow where that goes. So we go like 5 to 10 layers deep underneath. Well, then if I had all those ego goals, then I would have peace. I would feel accomplished. I would feel grateful. I would feel good about myself. I would feel like, oh, now I can free my heart up to love more deeply. Now I can be more present. Now I can actually explore my spirituality because I've done all those things that I had to do. So then, and we realize all of those things, those qualities are already here. They're already in abundance. So we don't have to wait. And I tell everybody to take one, I call it the ego goal to the soul goal. So we consolidate it into a quality of being, and we think, and we don't get rid of the ego goals. That's fine. But they just are like way in the back. So you take the soul goal and you focus on that before you go to bed. And you have a sense that, wow, I already have this. I'm already grateful that I can already access peace. I can already access a sense of confidence. I can already access that wanting to be of service to the world. And so dreams help me expand on that in the physical realm. So what's different about it is that it's kind of in reverse, and it's opposite, and it's inside out. It's going to the quality and allowing our dreams to help us embody that quality. And then some of those things that are on our ego list, they might just show up as we did see them. We might be surprised. It might be like, absolutely, those can come. But you have the feeling first, because often those ego things, they're just like fresh cut flowers. They come and then they go and then they wither. So we have to have something deeper than that in order to sustain. Also, there's the quality of letting go. In dreamifesting, we don't stay fixated and focused, because sometimes in manifesting there can be, I have to focus on this thing, I have to focus on it. And so it ends up becoming heavy in our heart, heavy in our body, because by contrast, we feel like our life is kind of shit if we don't have this book deal, or if we don't have this particular partner, or if we don't have this amount of money in the bank. So we're walking around feeling like shit about our lives, and we'll only feel better if we have this thing. So we keep chasing this thing that keeps getting further and further, and we might get it sometimes, little bits, but it's never long enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. And that just puts us basically in a hell cycle, all under the guise of we're trying to manifest. But instead, I feel like dreamifesting puts us in the sweet spot where we actually become attractive to more and better and more beautiful by being grateful and filled up in awe by what we already have. And then letting the intelligence of our dreams, that knows better than we do, that knows better than our ego, what might be the next thing and what might come in. I mean, I love France. I love Paris. And I can go there. I can buy a ticket and go anytime I want, obviously. But like out of nowhere, certain things, I mean, I'm going to be going in a couple weeks. And it's like, because it just came to me, this opportunity it's like, because I'm putting myself in the way, as Elizabeth Gilbert would say, we put ourselves in the way of grace. So it's not us that's having to push the boulder uphill. That would be called manifesting. And we're not having to be like, help me, I'm so sad and I'm so depressed, somebody help me, which I call womanifesting. That's kind of the extremes. I know some people are like, you can't do that anymore. But it's just, there's a manifester and a womanifester in all of us, those extreme masculine tendencies or feminine tendencies. Dreamifesting is the best of manifesting, where we do exert some effort and energy. We do something, we show up. And womanifesting, where we open ourselves up to support so we don't feel like we have to do it all. But we allow our dreams to take the reins. We allow our dreams to take the center spotlight and be the what, like you said, be the oracle or be the deity. What did you say? You said it so beautifully. It becomes like the guru, the guide. And
Yeah.
and the manifesting and the womanifesting follows suit. I mean, they kind of do the beckoning. They do the heavy lifting so that we don't have to.
Yeah. It's
They're in
like,
service of the dream.
it's what you're talking about is like the law of attraction of the soul. And
Oh,
you,
bam!
that's
Okay,
what I'm
honey,
feeling.
that's going to be your endorsement for my book right there. You don't even have to
Done.
do it. I still love the attraction for the soul. That's exactly it.
It
Say more.
is. Well, what I'm thinking as you're describing it all is it's like how you're talking about with manifesting, people are trying to focus on the thing so much and push that they want it. But in doing that, that's creating a feeling of lack. So then they're
Yes.
vibrating at lack that they don't have it.
Right.
Whereas, like, and a lot of those things that people are really heavily trying to manifest are those ego things. Like, I want a new
Right.
car, I want a different job, or
Right.
whatever it is. But what you're saying is by using the soul wants and going to sleep thinking about that and how that will feel and that you already have it. And what you've really been emphasizing is gratitude. Like you've
Right.
already got that thing. And then when you're in
Yes.
the dream, let's say you're dreaming that you're in France, you feel that you are there and that you do have it. And then you're vibrating on that frequency like the law of attraction. So then it's just going to get given to you.
You totally got it.
I get
You totally
it.
nailed it.
I love
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. One of the dreams I had was featured the Eiffel Tower. And one of the things I like to do is with every dream, this is like the hack for understanding what a dream is saying. This is right, the centerpiece of the jet set formula is to take one of the most standout symbols of the dream. So in my dream it was the Eiffel Tower and become that. Like embody it. And so when I feel, and it's like, oh, I am the Eiffel Tower. That feels good. That feels big and strong. Instead of me having to feel like I gotta go there, I gotta get there, and I'll never. It's like I am friggin' the Eiffel Tower. Like you come to me. What is everybody going over there for? Just come here. And then journaling from that, like doing some automatic writing from I am the Eiffel Tower. I'm standing still. Right where I am is the place to be. I reach the heavens. I am touching the earth. I am a place that represents something. When people see me, they're like, oh, and it reminds them to be a better version of themselves. So this is just what comes out in the writing. And it's like, oh, okay, I get that. And so then going to France, going to Paris is like icing on the cake. I've already had the cake. I've already had it because France can't give it to you. I know plenty of people that are like, I dream of going to Paris. I dream of it. And I got there and it was shitty. They were snotty and it was raining and the food was not good. Like, because it's not about the place. It's never about the place. It's about you. So the ego goal is just kind of a little, it's kind of like we think we want something and it's a little bit of a carrot to pull us, to nudge us to maybe take a class or to learn something that puts us on the track, puts us on the path. But it's like on the cover of the book, it's a picture of the moon, harnessing the moon, and like they say, like reach for the moon, at least you'll land among the stars. Like you might not get that thing that you think you want, but at least, but you're gonna get somewhere even better for
Mhm.
you. It may not be in the universe's, it may throw the universe completely out of whack if you got exactly what you wanted. But you having this other thing might be exactly what your soul needs, and it might actually do something good for the world. This is kind of a totally random thing, but this is what just popped in. There was some movie or a series by Stephen King, and it was the name of the show is basically before JFK. I don't know if you're in Australia, so I don't know if JFK, if you know who that is,
Yeah.
but it was a very famous president.
Yeah, I know who that is, and I know who
Okay.
Stephen King is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't take those things for granted though, because I know, like, but anyway, it was about somebody going through time through it like a wormhole to save JFK from being assassinated. And he's successful. Sorry, spoiler alert. He saves his life. And it's like, oh my God, hallelujah, this is amazing. But then you see over time all these other things that happened,
Mm.
and you see the future is complete nuclear annihilation. Like, oh my God, he had to die in order for this chain reaction to, oh my God. So maybe whatever challenging thing your viewers, your listeners are going through right now, this is exactly what needs to be struggled with in order to produce this other beautiful outcome that we could never see with our ego's perspective. And there's nothing wrong with our ego. We need it. We're always going to have it. It just doesn't get to take the driver's seat because it's got a limited perspective. So our soul is connected to that bigger GPS that sees a much broader perspective, and it just knows better than we do.
Yeah, I keep thinking back to the dream that you shared at the beginning about calling that friend who's now no longer the friend. It's like
Exactly.
the whole thing that you're explaining. I'm like, well, we're taking it back to that dream. That was
Yes.
perfect. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God. It was so painful. I'm like, it's because normally it goes really well. You call a random person, you tell them I dreamed about you, and they're like, oh my God, thank you. This person was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But what if that was exactly what needed to
Yeah. And
happen?
if she had gone, oh, it's great to hear from you, blah, 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 like maybe you wouldn't have been where you are in other aspects of your life. So,
It's so true. No, we can't know that chain reaction of things. We just have to trust that it's connected to a higher order than what our ego can perceive.
mm. Hmm. So I have another question then, because some people can really struggle with fear or self-doubt when they're pursuing their big dreams or taking action from their dreams. So
Yes,
can Dreamifesting help people with this?
absolutely. Because I think in the typical manifesting perspective, and I've got nothing against that, because there's some people that are just really freaking good at it, and
Mm.
it works for them. So hallelujah, we all have to find our way. But often, like we've talked about, we'll have like a big dream, a big goal, and we'll feel intimidated by it because by definition, it's big and it inspires us because it seems bigger than we are. So by definition, we're small, it's big. And so we can feel outsized, we can feel a bit of imposter syndrome. By dreamifesting, by kind of doing the reverse, like, okay, imagine that you've already got it and imagine how you feel. All those things, and you extrapolate. In some way, what that ends up doing is it brightens you up. So it's almost like, imagine that any goal, like we can just say having your podcast reach the entire world, billions of people. So Melissa Dream Hub is now the podcast that billions of people are listening to. So let's just say that's a goal. I don't know if it's your goal, but let's just say
Yeah, for sure.
it is.
Let's change the
Okay.
world. They will now
Okay,
that
let's
you're
change.
on it anyway.
Okay, there we go. So let's just imagine that that goal carries a particular frequency. Somebody that's going to have a podcast that is going to reach nearly 8 billion people, there's going to be a frequency to that. There's an energy to that. So let's just say, like in terms of a light bulb, let's just say that that would require a 10,000 watt light bulb in order to like actually beam that out in a consistent, sustainable way. And let's say that, okay, 10,000 watt light bulb is what that requires. But at this moment, beautiful, magnificent you're beaming 1,000 watts. And that's a lot. That's really good. But there's a differential. There's a gap. So what if there's like by feeling into what it would feel like to already have that, you realize, oh my God, it's not about having the thing and figuring out how I'm going to get there. It's more about matching it vibrationally and asking, That's a lot. That's a lot of energy. I've got some work to do to raise my vibration. And that's a good thing. That's like then the ball's in our court.
Hmm.
The ball is 1,000% in our court. We can raise ever so slightly or in large quantities our vibration to match that or not. I mean, if you could go off and kill somebody and do something that would lower, you can do whatever you want. Or you could be like, wow, if I really want that, then I'm going to be growing my vibration and I'm going to invite myself when I go to sleep at night. Like dreams help me figure out a very gentle, loving, natural way for me to raise my vibration to match this, even if it takes a lifetime. And even if that means that the outcome is going to be different than I expect, this is sort of the carrot I'm chasing so that I can grow my vibration. So no, there's nothing to lose. The ball's back in your court. It's not about, I mean, I was in Hollywood for a long time, and it used to seem like in order to get the part, in order to get the recognition, there were 10,000 gatekeepers always that had to give a green light, green light, green light. So many thousands of green lights for one gig to happen, one acting job. And sometimes the stars would align and that would happen. But mostly it was out of my hands to manipulate all those people and get them all to like me when really, I remember most of the jobs that I got when I was acting, people told me that they hired me when I walked in before I even read for them because they liked my energy or it's really just, if we're going to just cut to it and get so simple about it, the things that we want are usually on a higher plane of energy than where we're vibrating. So the simplest thing to do is ask our dreams before we go to sleep, help me in my own way, let go of the static that's keeping my energy from being high, like maybe saying hello to a friend. I dreamt about you and she's saying, eh. So I can dump that. I can get rid of that. Let me know what I need to let go of. And then what can I do to amplify? What can I do to and stabilize it? Not just amplify and burn ourselves out, but amplify and stabilize.
Yeah.
Those are some good questions to ask at nighttime and
Bring
see
on the
what shows up.
wolves.
What's that?
Bring on the wolves.
Bring on the wolves. Oh my God, exactly.
But there's so many things in that though. It's like ripping the layers off, and then that gave you like a different kind of a strength, like a power come from you. So I see how that dream did that as well.
Right, it did both of those things. It took away. It was kind
Yeah.
of like the wolves have been saying, Kelly, can we friggin' help you? And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you're trying to kill me. And in some way, they were trying to kill me. They were trying to kill the former version of me, which needed to
Yeah.
go. She needed to go. And God bless her. She was great. And, I mean, most of it is just people pleasing, trying to spread ourselves too thin. And people pleasing in and of itself isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot worse things in this world. And we people please in order to not get kicked off the island. And that's good. But once we're established on the island, no one's going to kick us off. We can stop. We can, we can still please people to a certain degree, but enough,
Yeah.
enough with having to be everybody's best friend, everybody's buddy.
Yeah.
Nope. It's good news when people tell us to fuck off. Okay, I will. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye-bye. That's a whole lot of stuff I don't have to do anymore.
That's so
Frees me up to
awesome.
love the ones that matter and do the things that are truly mine to do. Not
Yeah.
everything is mine to do.
Yes. Yep.
So few
Wow.
things are mine to do. I thought so many things are mine to do. No, just a few things. A few people, a few things. It gets so
Yeah, keep
simple.
it simple. Yeah. Wow, this has been so amazing. I'm really, really excited about this Dreamifesting book coming out. And you are offering a pre-launch special with hundreds of dollars of free gifts. So how can my listeners
Yes.
take advantage of that?
Sure. Oh, I should pull it up so I can really tell people exactly what I'm offering. So, the book actually comes out September. It's in the first week of September. No, it's middle September. And in the meantime, if people buy pre-order one book, they get my Dreamifesting bedtime meditation. So this is something, because sometimes it's hard, we're just exhausted from the day, we just want to conk out. But to have something to listen to before going to sleep that helps us to remember to set an intention and to pay attention to the dream when we wake up in the morning. So I'd say the dream time meditation is probably the best thing I have to offer people. But then there's more. If you buy 5 books, then you get the meditation, and you also get this class, the Radical Dream Work class, that is a workshop that I led through the Shift Network, and also how to transform the nightmares into rightmares. So these are 2 classes, and they're valued at $400. So you get basically $500 worth of gifts for 5 books. And then if you buy 10 books, you get all of that, plus you get half off of my next Dreamifesting Live. And so the class costs $1,200, so you get it for only $600. So that's worth another $600. And so the cost of a book is like what, $15, maybe $18. So yeah, you get a lot for a little.
I know
And
what
that's
everybody will be
September.
getting for Christmas from me this year.
Oh, that's so sweet. Everybody. Right. I hope so. That would be so great. Because you're going to be in it. One of your quotes is going to be in the
Yes.
book.
I
It's
love
perfect
it.
timing.
Yay.
Yeah. And they can go
Wow.
to dreamifesting.com, and it's dream with an I, festing, Festing. So dream, put yourself right in the middle of that.
Yep. I'll
dreamifesting.com.
put the links in the show notes as well so that people online can just go down and click on it. Kelly, is there anything that's coming to you that you feel urged to share now before we wrap the episode up?
I think I just really want people to hear that their dreams are on their side, whether they're remembering them or not, whether the dreams are pleasant or not, whether they're vivid or not, whether they're long and elaborate or very short and sweet. Every dream we have is a blessing. It's a gift. It's something that if we were wise, we would put our knees on the ground and kiss the ground, and we would kiss the sky every morning and just say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Even if we don't understand what the dream is telling us, there's wisdom and guidance that it is giving to us every day, every single night, so that we can have more joy, more fulfillment, more ease, more grace in our waking lives. Life doesn't have to be a struggle. It can be an experience of heaven on earth. And I think that's what we signed up for. I know that's what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for a lifetime of struggle, maybe a drop of it every once in a while so that there's contrast, but heaven on earth. So that's what's available. So I hope the dream that you and your listeners and viewers have tonight gives them that a little spark, a little kernel, or maybe a big insight that will help them release something and help them be drawn ever closer to their soul's purpose, the secret of their soul. Yeah, for the highest good of all. And no one is left out of that.
Powerful stuff. You're so inspiring. I love listening to you speak. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for today.
Thank you, my sister from another mister, Dream Hub, Melissa. Oh my God, this has been wonderful being in your field, and I'm looking forward to getting to interview you and getting to do a lot more things together. So
Thank
this is just
you.
the beginning.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, everyone listening, like I said, I'll put her website, dreamifesting.com, down in the show notes. And if you loved today's conversation, don't forget to share this episode, leave a review, tag us on social media. And you can also follow Kelly at Kelly Walden on Instagram, and check out her other website, www.kellysullivanwalden.com. Check out the Gaia episode I watched her on. It was amazing. And yeah, I'm very, very proud and honored to have you here today. Thank you for coming on the Dream Hub podcast. And to the listeners, until next time, pay attention to your dreams. They are trying to tell you something very important. Yay.
Don't take your dreams lying down. Thanks, Melissa.